So I just finished my first year of art school about a week and a half ago, and I've had some time to reflect on everything and just calm down and desensitize all my senses that were way too overloaded during the course of this year, and just take a look back on the first year of 4 that I will be spending at art school. The best things about this year at art school was definitely the art community that we were surrounded by. I've never been surrounded by so many creative minds. It was a different experience, and it was a really good one because I learned to think more creatively, and I learned what it was like to work with other creatives, and it was just really cool. I'd never experienced anything like that before. Like in high school, you've got a couple people maybe that liked art and thought creatively, if you're lucky. But art school, you're surrounded by these people who know what you're going through and have similar interests. I've never been around so many people that all agree anime is cool. Like it was it was a different experience. I really enjoyed getting feedback in art school too. I got feedback in high school from my art teacher, but that was about it. But being in a studio class is really cool because you're surrounded by all these people who are like, "No, girl, you need to change this bit about your artwork and it'll make it like 100% better." And it's like it's a lifesaver when you're trying to improve your work. I never really had that before, other than a couple teachers. Maybe a couple peers would say something once in a while in high school, but like I had nothing as soon as I left high school and I was doing art on my own while I was working. My art really suffered for it during that year. I had virtually no improvement, but then I came to art school and I improved so much because of all these amazing people who are willing to tell me that my art sucks and I need to get better. It was really good. I would say if you're planning on going to art school, you really need to learn how to learn from people's critiques, because I know a couple people who would get upset if something bad was said about their artwork, and that's really why I went to art school, is to learn and improve and to hear people talk negatively about my art. That's what really makes you improve. You're not gonna improve by being told your artwork is really good all the time. And if that's what you're looking for in art school, I would suggest not going, because you're not gonna find people who are just gonna boost you up. They're gonna tear your artwork apart, but ultimately that's to make you a better artist, and it really helped my art improve a lot. In art school, you really get a feel for what the art community is gonna be like. Like for a job, you have to work with a lot of deadlines and you have to do a lot of work within short deadlines. And if you can do it, you're definitely going to be able to work in the industry. And I think that was one of the best things I learned from art school, was I'm able to meet deadlines. Um, Art classes were really scary because the first day of classes, they're like, yeah, if you're going to be a minute late and your artwork is not on the wall the minute class starts, you're going to lose a letter grade, and that's a lot. And that's scary. But it was really to prepare you for the industry. Art school isn't really there to just make you a better artist. It's to prepare you to make art your job. And it really does a good job at that. And if you can survive your first year at art school, then you're definitely going to survive the industry. I learned so much this year. We went over a lot of stuff that I'd already learned in high school. It was a lot of the basics, but going over that again was really good. I learned so much. It wasn't all fine and dandy though. There was some things I didn't like about art school. Mainly that it was so expensive. Some classes I didn't quite enjoy. I'm talking mostly about color theory. It's just mixing paints. I understand. I learned a lot in that class, but it was a lot of work. Sometimes I felt like I was throwing my money at something that wasn't going to help me in the long run. Some required classes I questioned going to. I understand some of the need for them, but it was ultimately a lot of work. Our teacher said for every hour that you spend in class, you're also going to have to spend an hour out of class too. And that was a bit of an understatement when they said that, because I definitely spent more time out of class working on my projects than I did in class. Our classes were about 4.5 hours long, and it might take me 5 to 8 hours to complete a project for the week, and there was 5 classes, so I didn't have a lot of downtime for other friends and stuff, and that part of my social life suffered a little bit during art school, I'm sad to admit. There isn't a lot of specialty work, unfortunately, in first year. For all those looking to go into art school, you're not going to do a lot of cartooning. It's going to be a lot of realism, a lot of broad work. You're going to work a lot on perspective and the mechanics of that. So you're really, really strong in the basics. And it's not a lot about exploring your style, although they do encourage that you also work in your sketchbook and explore your own style on top of all the work that they give you, which I also struggled with, but somehow managed to do. That was interesting. I think the last con, which was something that just such a major stress in my life the past couple weeks, was reapplying for second year. The illustration and character design and graphic design programs are so competitive in my school that you have to reapply with another portfolio for the next year. If you're a fine arts student in my school, you're definitely gonna be fine, but oh man, I am stressed out. I'm still stressed out, even though all my stuff is already submitted. That's what I'm actually working on right now in this video. I'm working on a character for my portfolio named Toki. He was one of my personal projects during the year. It wasn't a school project, although most of my portfolio was made up of school projects. And maybe I will go over portfolios in another video, because portfolio building is extremely important if you want to get into art school, definitely, or even apply for jobs, because most art jobs will require a portfolio, actually. So I guess having to reapply for second year did help me with learning to build a portfolio, but it does kind of suck that I had to go through all the work of getting into art school the first time, and I have to go through and get in a second time. But Toki here, I guess I should talk about what I'm drawing, actually. Toki here is a character design I've been working on, because I want to get into the character design and illustration stream, and I thought having a character design would definitely help with that. And it definitely does. My teacher really enjoyed this little character. I made like a 10-page PDF of expressions of him and stuff, and this was the final little illustration I added in, full colored and everything, and he's just a 13-inch tall little imp who is a merchant who sells little tiny weaponry that ends up being useless to anyone who uses it, because it's like a little butter knife. I thought it was a cute character design. I was inspired by looking at character designs with my friends at art school. We were just exploring little cute illustrations, and I was really inspired by some of the stuff that I saw on the internet to make a cute little character guy. I just cannot resist making a tiny little person. I am obsessed with tiny little things. But yeah, I guess I should get back to art school. Overall, I really enjoyed it. I'd say overall it's a positive experience for me. There was some breakdowns during the process. It put a lot of stress on me and my body, and I definitely need to learn better time management. I didn't end up doing a whole ton of all-nighters. It was a lot of work, but ultimately it was rewarding work, and I don't regret forking over all the money that I had to pay to get there because I learned so much, and I definitely am so excited for second year because it'll get way more specialized and I'll get to do more of the stuff that I love to do. And I hope for anyone looking to get into art school that this video was helpful. This is just first year impressions. Good luck to anyone who wants to pursue art as a career. I really hope you get in. Alright, I love you all. Bye.